Isn't it a pleasant and wonderful morning? Let's get into it. Let's talk about something that in the Holy Scriptures it explains something that I would like to explain. So, how is the battle between Archangel Michael and Lucifer? This is a illustration of what Lucifer is, or Samael. Let's go into depths. About how in the ancient times they had a fist fight, and how there was a fight between light and darkness. So, I'd like to just illustrate or explain certain things in the Holy Scriptures to begin with. I'd like to give you a little bit of the rundown story. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's very important on the Uncle John Show, because I'm going to be doing certain episodes. It's very important that I just say it like it is. I be honest with you guys. On the Uncle John Show, it's very important that you keep it real and you be authentic and honest as possible. So, there was an ultimate fist fight. Let me turn this off. There was an ultimate fist fight between Michael and Lucifer, meaning there was a fight between two sides. And the person that won was Michael. And Lucifer and his allies left heaven. They left. They got defeated. They got beaten up. Bang, bang. They got beaten up. And in the Holy Scriptures, it talks about how there are good people out there and there are bad people out there. And it talks about how some of these people, like Moses, Prophet Moses, in certain sections, they talk about how they had to fight certain people. How there was this character called Baal, Baal, and how they tried to recruit people to sin and commit immortal sins, which is bad. And how there's certain people out there in Genesis, and how one side is Lucifer, and he's the bad guy, he's the devil. And then the other side is God, or he's Yahweh, they call him in the Holy Scriptures. And they go in depth of Genesis and Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, and they go all throughout this section in this book, The Cipher, which I would highly recommend. So, I want to tell you a little bit of a background story about this fight. So, a long time ago, when they designed the universe and how it was in the Dead Sea Scrolls and these books, there were two sides. There was the light realm and there was the dark realm. And there were people out there that were Elohim's relatives. And there are people out there that were Yahweh's relatives. And you may say to me, John, how do you know this? Well, I had to do research and development. And I started pinpointing things about Adam and Eve and who is Lilith. Lilith is a version of what you call the mother of monsters. And you say, John, how did you get these answers? How exactly did you do it? Well, I went to Barnes and Nobles. I went to Barnes and Nobles right here. See this baggie? I went to Barnes and Nobles and I said, you know what? I'm going to study the supernatural. When I go to university, I'm going to just study this stuff, and I want to get an understanding. So, there is this brilliant author that wrote this book, and she talks about she talks about fairies and jinn or genies, demons, ghosts, gods. She goes into depth about this stuff, and people may say, "Oh, wow, that's that's so interesting." Well, some of the stuff could be true, and some of the stuff could be false. But we don't know out there, because sometimes we have people like, this famous, author here, and she wrote the Twilight series. We don't know whether the information that a lot of these people do with fiction or nonfiction is true or not, and we're not aware of what happens. See, in Hollywood, you're in like almost like a my friend would say, you're in almost like an imaginary place. Going to California is very different than New York. The weather's different, people act different. They don't really discuss certain things. Some of my friends had theories, they're conspiracy theories, like they like some of those people out in the History Channel. They talk about aliens, and they said, well, some people believe that there are aliens out there and they hide in plain sight. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I'm skeptical, because things tend to repeat itself, because we're in a society right now. It's 2025. We're in August, and we don't know where we're going. Every day, Monday comes. It's early in the morning. It's about 6ish in the morning. People are going to exercise. People are going to, we're going to the gym. We're going to the Lifetime Fitness. We're going to go do some exercising, or etc. So, in regards to the priests and rabbis, and the reason why I have these two yarmulkes is I always have it on me, just in case I want to do some prayer. And I do have a cipher. I have a Taraq. I have a Quran. I'm going to show you that later, and I'm going to go into depth about what happened during my college years. So when I was in college, they have programs on studying to be a librarian, or library science, or to study to be an attorney, Juris Science, or legal studies. So you may say to me, hey, Timmy may say to me, who's 5 years old, Timmy may say to me, hey, John, why aren't you, doing certain things, in the courts? Well, Timmy, that's a great question. That's something that Timmy did bring up. One of my friends' kids did bring up. Why don't you, what is the purpose of this show? The purpose of the show is to explain to you that there are things out there that you don't understand. There are people that they have independent lives. On one side of the stick, you may meet, Tom Hanks, and he may be a great person in the movies. You may see him in Forrest Gump. But on the other side, he may be with his wife, and he may act completely different. Well, that's how people are in real life. They're not, sometimes, like these newscast people or the news reporters, are not who they say they are. They may be strange. Some people may talk to somebody, and the guy is a mean person. Or some of these actors, I'm not being rude, but some people think that some of these actors or actresses or models are weird. There's nothing wrong with anyone's opinion or feelings or emotions, but they may think he's weird. Oh, he eats a bagel a certain way. That's somebody's opinion. Kids have a lot of opinions, and they go on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat, and they text their buddies. They go, hey, this guy, this woman, this man, he's a weirdo. Or they may talk about teachers, just like professors or etc. or administrators. Well, The whole purpose of me explaining this thing with spirits and things like that, there are people out there that study this for a living. They're on the History Channel. They study ancient aliens. They see that on the images when they take photos, for example, they go to these and I visited these places. So they go and they see a wall, and let's just say it's Jerusalem or it's the country, and they see a picture of a person, and the person is an ancient person, and he looks like a cell phone. Well, they may go, hey, ping, they hit a shot, a camera shot, and that's a form of understanding how things work. Now, Ike, I-K-C, I think it's I-C-K-E. He's a very fit Mr. Ike. I-C-K-E. I think it's Dan. I think it's David. I think it's David Ike. He's a conspiracy theorist person. Just like, I think it's Billy Carson's the third. They study a lot of this stuff with this, they believe in, I was skeptical at first, but then I started understanding about things that are related to yoga and the Kama Sutra and auras and things like that. In these books, this is why I stay away from certain people. In these books, there are people out there. There are people, ladies and gentlemen, that are out there that we don't understand who they are. We don't get to meet. No offense, like there's Taylor Swift or Selena Gomez. We don't get to meet the Taylor Swift or Selena Gomez. We just see a picture of TMZ. The guy's got a water bottle or something like that, and he's drinking the water bottle, or he's like, Selena Gomez goes to the gym. Well, that's great and all, but no offense to you guys out there. That seems very creepy to me. Being in the news, no offense, is a little bit not taboo, but she goes to the gym. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody goes to the gym. Everybody. She drinks Poland Spring water. Literally everybody drinks Poland Spring water. She's a perfect example. I could be a little bit of a comedian. I did a post about Kendall Jenner, and I'm just kidding with some of these things. She does Pilates, for example. So some people and some of my friends have jokes. We kid around. It's a joke. It's not to make fun of you. It's just a joke. Women out there have to have a sense of humor somehow. Okay, so you're a model, Kendall. Kendall, do you understand that there are people out there that there are male models that they seen things? No, not that they seen things that are wrong. They go on the plane. They're left alone. They wear a hat. They wear their sunglasses. I'm going to just do a little visual. They wear their sunglasses. They're Tom Hanks. They wear their sunglasses. They're on the plane and they want to be left alone. And no offense, they don't care. Mr. Hanks' son, for example, great guy. I met him, shook his hand, met him in the city. Great guy. He doesn't care. And you know what? He gave some of those people that were a lot younger than me, they're attorneys, etc. They gave me advice. Nobody cares with the TMZ and the news and all. All people want to do in life, and I'm just saying this on the Uncle John Show, people just want to work. They want to have a house. They want to have a family. Maybe they want to get married. And they just want to be happy. And at the end of the day, maybe they want to play video games and be left alone. That's how the mentality or the psyche of a man is. Perfect example, Ridge Wallet right here. you have to think about a man's personality. They're business as usual. This is a picture of a dollar bill. This is George Washington right here. George Washington was our first president. All people want to do in life, men, women, we just want to survive. Want to pay bills and survive. That's it. So I'm going to make this 15 minutes as simple as possible. No matter what, at the end of the day, when you go into church or temple or the mosque, and I will show you the Quran, and people will say, John, why do you have the... I had the Quran out of respect, because some of my friends, like Omar, taught me that you need to see different sides of the story. You need to respect people's faith or people's religion. You can't make fun of those people. If they want to say free Palestine, let them say free Palestine. In the city in Manhattan, I met a comedian named Joey Diaz, and he once told me, or on the podcast, one of his friends once told me, Theo Vaughn said, you just got to be happy. Be happy with who you are. In the city, it's a zoo. California is the same thing, like Hollywood or Beverly. It's a zoo. Everybody is just trying to do the very best they can. They may have an apartment. They may have a house. They may be by themselves. As long as you're happy, who cares? If your kids are happy, your kids are happy. So take care, guys. Have a pleasant and wonderful day. Thank you.